Welcome everybody to the Orgasmic Freedom Experience and Masterclass. And I'm super excited to welcome you today to continue into this conversation of how do we live our lives with as a pleasurable experience all together and fully liberate ourselves to be, especially for us who are leading the new way and wanting to bring back love and liberation into this world. How do we bring it into ourselves so we can be fully who we are, our unique selves, and we can really empower movements that help us transform this world into their full expression of liberation. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm super excited to introduce you to Anaiya Sophia, a beautiful guest for today. She is a mystic of an almost forgotten faith. She teaches and is an author of Kundalini Yoga, has a few very powerful books that I'm actually just going to quickly mention here. And Sophia is in France right now. Her book, some of her books are Open Your Heart with Kundalini Yoga, Sacred Sexual Union, The Rose Night, and Fierce Feminine. So I love Anaiya's work. I was just telling her before we started, I've been a big fan of one of her books that she was a co-author to, Womb Wisdom, and a great, amazing teacher. So welcome, Anaiya. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Nicole. It is absolutely glorious to be here.
Nice. So anything, I want you to tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now. I received invitations to the things that you're bringing to the world right now. I know you have a beautiful place that you host people to come and experience transformation. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, I guess my husband and I, we live in the south of France, close to the French Pyrenees, which is famous for its connection with Mary Magdalene, the Essenes, and the Cathars. So this is where we live, and we don't wander too far from this place. As a person, as a woman, I'm in a very huge transition. So I'm really getting into the menopause years now. Apparently, I've only got just a couple more years to go. And so my work and my character is just changing every week. So I've been guided to be quiet and reflective because something new is absolutely wanting to emerge within. And I just feel that everything I've done to date is going to quietly sit on the shelf while something else comes through. It is an incredible journey. I just want to say to the young ladies, I'm so going to be there. Because it's huge. It's huge.
I'm so excited. I read your post on when you kind of realized you were going into this experience of menopause, and wow, like I even remembering now, my whole body just received this energy that you were experiencing with such an amazing sensation. Like even now I'm feeling it again as you're describing it, and I'm remembering it. Just the magnificence of how you describe what's happening, the transition into, it's kind of like being born into a new stage of womanhood, and a stage that we fear so much as women. And I particularly been really excited about becoming old because in my projection, in my life journey, I've learned to have more fun and be more like a child as I am more liberated. So I like it, but I know it's such a fear a stage to go into. And the way you describe it was just like the most juicy, exciting, like adventure. So
it is the most honest. It really does. It strips you. But what's so absolutely beautiful, it leaves you so compassionate. I feel so extra loving towards everybody.
Wow. Nice.
That is, you can't buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just a gift. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So nice. And, inside of our conversation, I actually think that this is very, very important because a lot of the audience that we have are women. I'm going to say predominantly we have a lot of women here, very driven, passionate women that are so committed to bringing the best to this world and to our female liberation. And we have some men as well present in this masterclass and in this orgasmic freedom journey, but predominantly with so many of women that are in the different stages, from like mid ages to women that probably already experienced menopause. And so I want to really dig a little bit deeper into this, into the fact that how do we become free? Because I feel like it's in our progression as females and women, it's right now really strong happening when we're all just really wanting to be who we are as females. We're like, oh, okay, we've been very repressed and we went into being free, but as men, like we were trying to be men for so many years. And now there's a collective realization that, oh, we work very differently. Our magic, our flow, and our power, it's actually ingrained in our body. So what is something that you can share that it's helpful for all of these very committed women with the mission, with the passion that they have, and continue to liberate themselves as we go through all the stages?
Well, I would say what's really important is learning how to merge what I call the light and dark rivers of the feminine. And this can be personified. It's only personification. And this is where people can get stuck. It can be personified by the dance of Lilith and Eve. So, in current society, we might say something like the femme fatale and the dutiful wife.
Right.
At this stage, this is when we have to realize that both of these creatures, the femme fatale and the dutiful wife, or the Lilith and the Eve, they have both been created by the toxic masculine or patriarchy.
Thanks.
So, and the more we keep playing out that role, the happier that energy is, and rubbing its hands going, yay.
Yeah.
I believe what is being asked of us now as women is for us to authentically tap into those energies within us, but then to fuse them together to create this unexpected third expression and embodiment that the toxic masculinity forgot to think about.
Yeah.
They were just so driven by the dualistic aspect. That's what patriarchy does. It's very, very dualistic.
Yeah.
What the feminine can do is bring those two together. And of course, it has to be genuine and has to be authentic. And this includes experience. Yeah. So it can't be meditated upon, prayed upon. You have to go out there and enact these energies until they truly become your own.
That's amazing.
And it's not just about, being the personification. Over the years, I've noticed it's become more and more subtle. So it really is just like a little subtle shift on the inside. And, like a kaleidoscope, if you change on the inside just a little bit, then the outer totally corresponds to that little shift you've made.
Right. Yeah, like that merging of energies. And it's like you say, the subtle movements. It's this like intricate combinations.
Yes.
That can transform everything. And I know it's one of those things, like what you say, you can't read about it, you can't meditate on it, you really need to experience it to be really able to understand and integrate it in reality. And so definitely, since you brought up the patriarchy, there's been such a predominant subject in my life right now, and realizing how ingrained it is, right? And like this dualization and separation and compartmentalization of things, and the feminine energy is totally the different, like the other side, right? Like with the integration. And So what would you say? Because I encounter so many beautiful, well-meaning, like truly they want to assist in the evolution and liberation.
Mm.
You know, they so want to, but the patriarchal, uh,
Mm.
it's just conditioning. It's just so like ingrained in them and in their veins that it's just how, you know, and as a woman, like really being aware of it now,
Mm.
sometimes for me has been like, holy, like how do we actually shift this, because it's so ingrained in like the cellular system.
Mm.
So what would you say for the men here present? Two questions I have. One for the men.
Mm.
What would you say is something that they can do to help this integration of those polarizations? How can they support this process within
Mm.
themselves and in the women that they're supporting? Yeah, and how can they, what kind of work could they do to liberate that programming or
Mm.
become aware of it?
Well, my husband Pete, he very much works with the masculine, with men, and it's a really very simple task. The
Mm-hmm.
masculine apparently is absolutely going through this process with one job and one job only, which is what they love: simplicity. And their role, their sacred quest, is to truly open that heart and make it more powerful than the mind. So
Wow.
go past all of your reasons why not to. Go
Mm-hmm.
past all of your reasons why it's not convenient, you don't have enough time, you haven't made enough money, your status isn't, large enough or something. Opening your heart is paramount. So it's not so much about the consciousness for the masculine. The
Right.
masculine, the masculine's task is heart, feelings, letting go of control, allowing himself to be a little bit wild, a little bit unconventional, definitely very worshipful, devotional, so wide. The heart is so wide that a certain bhajan or a certain movie is enough to just release this waterfall of sorrow and joy at the same time. That is the man's task, so I understand, through all the men Pete has been speaking to, and obviously I'm speaking to them too.
Mm-hmm.
And for the lady, for the woman, it's actually consciousness. I would say a few years ago, especially at the time of womb wisdom, it was about opening the body, the cells in the body, sexuality, the gates.
Yeah.
Now I truly believe she has to venture further than she's ever gone in consciousness, dragging that body with her. So it's an embodied experience of vast, uncharted consciousness.
So powerful what you're saying, makes me want to cry. Because it's so true. Like, thank you so much. It's so simple. And you know what, this makes me want to interview Pete now. So
Yeah.
that into this conversation for the men. But yeah, it's just so simple. You're right, like that. And I just want to share a story that with one of my clients that came to me through tantric work. And he initially came just because he didn't have intimacy with his wife and this very constricted relationship. And with asking questions, I realized he couldn't feel anything. He just didn't feel anything. So the whole work has just been just helping him feel, just drop into his body. And he just like his most consistent and impactful feedbacks is, I don't know what you're doing to me, but all of a sudden I'm crying. I don't know what to do. He's never felt anything, even though didn't know how to feel like what really love was for his children. He loved them because he didn't want them to die, right? But now all of this, emotions are coming, surfacing to him, and I can feel the fear, right? Like, what do I do with this? I feel out of control. Why this is happening? Because I know this is very frightening for men. And I'm witnessing this happening with a lot of men in my life. And then this is maybe the conversation for Pete. But that's just really beautiful to say, like, to reassure the men here that is just a huge step when you're entering into a little bit of this wildness. And I guess what's coming to me with your sharing is this integration of like, we have been really comfortable with doing that. Now it's like, it's them tipping their toes into this, so that they can understand it and support from that. And
absolutely. I do feel that when a man really opens, because it's going to be huge, it's going to be his entire lifetime of minimizing, intellectualizing and suppressing all of these feelings and emotions. So when it comes up, it is huge. And I think the most authentic work in that moment, in those initial moments, is when there is another man willing to embrace him and probably grieve and cry with him.
That's huge,
Yeah, and that is huge, because a man, number one, doesn't want to show, B, not really sure about being in the embrace of another brother's arms. This is where the medicine is. It's just like us ladies. I do something called Sacred Body Awakening, which is where a group full of women will slowly undress, and we will learn to touch each other in that beautiful, holy temple way. Now, a man isn't able to do that to the same degree as another woman. You know how us ladies compare and contrast, and we're jealous, and she's old and she's young and she's this, that, and the other. In the embrace of another woman is the medicine. When you realize it doesn't matter what you look like, what age you are, what your figure is up to. Woman is, when she's healed and open, the embodiment of love. And it is that love that's flowing through her hands and body into yours. And it's the same with the men. There's something in that man-to-man embrace when the man opens and, well, rips open for the very first time.
So
it's incredible. We each have so much medicine in our bodies. It's not what we say. It's how we touch and hold and caress one another.
So beautiful. I had recently had a vision of that, what you just described that you do with the women that I had. I was being guided to do that with I live in a community, so we have men and women and children, and it's a very interesting process because I knew that I was supposed to initiate this rebuilding community, and it's so challenging because it's like having relationships with many people, right?
Yes.
Raising children. So in this stages of conflict, sometimes I go into this meditation. I do my ceremony every day in the shower. I realized yesterday, I'm like, wow, I'm actually every day downloading information. So in one of them, I received this vision that I had to take all of the ladies and we had to do a ceremony and a meditation, and then we had to all massage our breasts and our body and most loving, like mother-like or sister-like embrace. And it's funny because it's like, okay, it's just so powerful how the truth of what the medicine is will come to us when we're open to receive it. And there's just such a nice confirmation to hear that you do that work, because beautiful. And I really want to also ask a little bit more about what you said with the opening the body and the consciousness. That I want to go a little bit further, the women here, deeper into that, because it's I'm like specifically experiencing that as well right now. And so the liberation of the body, I want you to explain a little bit deeper into that. Like, so we have our opening of our body, our sexuality, which we've been witnessing has been happening for the last, 7 years, and very clearly like the last 2 years. And then now the consciousness. When you say consciousness, like I'm experiencing, and I have been experiencing kind of simultaneously this too, but I wanted to dig a bit deeper into that. When we say consciousness, we are talking about really tapping into the understanding of oneness and receiving that connection with the universe, with the higher realms, with other dimensions, and then really using our bodies or helping our bodies come into that reality and can we use our body to help us get there? Can you tell us a little bit more about that process?
Well, for me, at this very, very rudimentary stage, I feel it's not true, but it is like a relative truth. So to me, there's two types of consciousness. There's the light version that comes in via prayer, meditation, bhajans, going into a state of ecstasy, poetry, dancing, all of that stuff.
Right.
And that's glorious. We all love that. That's amazing. What I have been doing over the years and think is equally, essentially important is the dark consciousness. Okay. So where I live in the south of France, it's no problem to go into a jet black cave and realize that this environment, at first it's very scary because your fears just go way. But for me, the jet black light is so primordially healing, and there's the medicine, because the black light is very reflective. So if you can get at peace with this jet black, safe environment, it is safe. I mean, in the south of France, there is nothing. You do not have to worry about any animal jumping out and attacking you. So technically, there is nothing to fear. Right. But the mind will produce 101 fears. Once you've got settled with that black light, you can then take a contemplation, just a subject, and you literally just drop it into the black light as you would a stone into a pond, and you will see the ripples of your contemplation. And then you will get profound insights that the white light, the bright light, would never have steered you in this direction. Beautiful. So to me, this is really important, that we are able to sit in the presence of the bright light and the black light. Yeah. And this black light has nothing to do with darkness as in something that could harm you. Yeah. It's a darkness retreat, a darkness meditation. And it brings through a very particular quality of what I call gnosis. Gnosis? Gnosis is amazing. Gnosis is like something you can't verbalize. It's so profound. It's so massive. Yeah. And it's actually just for you. It's like a seed. It goes in, and then over time, will you be able to speak about it? Yeah. This is really revealing. Thank you so much. That's really powerful. And so for somebody that wants to try this, because I know this is also like putting it together what you were saying with the men, it's kind of a challenge for the women, because historically it's been like they're the ones that are brave to go into the dark zone and out into this, and we stay here safe. And so we're really being called to explore that, like and see what comes, which is like, I know exactly what you mean. It's like this juiciness, clarity that ripples. Like I experience this, and then you just can't bring it out yet. So this is helping me a lot, because the shower I was telling you about is a very dark shower. It doesn't have windows. It's like completely. And I'll go into this meditations, and I receive so much information with the water. And I can never bring it out to and it seems like I have the answers. But it's like you're saying, it's just like an internal clarity and understanding and power that comes. And so we're like, it's just more and more you tell me, it's just like that clarity that the male and the female right now to get to that other space, like we're doing this. Totally. That's exactly right. The feminine has been holding, obviously, the heart's presence. The masculine has been holding the consciousness. Maybe being a bit more avant-garde. Let's just say the plant medicines. So the masculine nature has been, from where I'm from, more daring, more experimental, more like, fuck it, let's do it anyway. And the feminine is like, meh, I'll just stay here.
Right.
I'll try a little bit. You know. So now what we're going to do? Wham! We're going to change position.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's like the two snakes, the caduceus.
Yep. Yep. So powerful.
Yeah.
I'm seeing in women from my generation, a lot of us are kind of playing that role with them, with our partners, where we, I know with some very close friends that we've been the ones saying what you're describing us to be the most common for the men, where we're like, let's just go for it. We'll take the risks. And the men will be a little bit more like, well, let's just be safe. So it's really fascinating to see this. Like, it gives me a lot of like excitement for what's coming.
In your community, you could actually make a dark room. You don't have to go searching for a cave.
That's what I was going to ask you next.
Right? Yeah, you just blacken out 1 or 2 rooms, prepare in advance some sort of very simple food and water to turn up, you know, by other people in the community.
Yeah.
And that's it. You got a little mattress, you got a yoga mat, you got access to a shower and toilet, and you could just do 48 hours.
Oh, like that. Okay, amazing. I'm just dark room. I'm making notes here so that we can let
it's incredible.
So I'm gonna recommend.
The mind goes crazy. So after like 20 minutes, you're like, oh my God, I'm here for 48 hours.
Amazing.
Nothing to do but receive.
This is so powerful, Sophia.
Yeah.
So this is great. I don't know, for our audience here, if they're aware with sweat lodges. If you're from North America, you have most likely been familiar or heard of it. But if you haven't, it's this traditional ceremony from our Native Americans and also South American, Central American Aboriginal traditions. And it's all about that, right? Like it's a dark little building that you go in there and it's absolutely dark. So that's the power of it. And then you bring hot rocks into the middle of the inibi, they would call it. And there's steam at it. So then you do a ceremony in like absolute darkness, and so much comes for, between 2 hours, not as long, but 2 hours to, 5-6 hours in like intense heat. And the idea is to we return back to the womb.
Yes.
There's so much healing that happens. And basically, I love what you're saying now, because we can recreate. This ceremonies they were being held and done regularly by these people. So having a dark room in your home is just such a good thing. Like just take that space, or you can just go into your ceremony.
Yeah.
Totally good tip there for everybody. And so let's go a little bit now into the relationship. Like when you're in a relationship and in sexuality, I want to talk about how do it's already in the conversation here, but how do we really, really, really dig into like that full liberation? Because in my understanding of my life exploration it's been, like you say, from liberating the body, then the consciousness and sexuality has a lot to do with that. It's like such a power. It's a life creation energy, right? The energy where we create life, be it you made life, like physical life or not, that's just the channel. So when you're making love with your partner and you can really, really, really remove all those repressions, like you're saying, this and that description of the women that you were talking about, even the wild, like, slut, that is another stereotype, or the housewife, like either of those, when you can just merge and be the loving, caring, and also the wild women, and for men as well, when we can both merge into the absolute surrender amazing things happen, like all these plant medicines, earth, which like it just is like an opening where you, in my experience, you go beyond where you can even imagine that this life experience can be, and there's like this power of creation. And tell us a little bit about in the work you do, perhaps, or how can we encourage? There's so much separation, and I hear this a lot in the people that are very spiritually spiritual leaders or entrepreneurs, and we have a lot of them here listening to us. They're very driven with a mission, is that somehow their sexuality and their intimacy with their partners and the relationship of themselves, it's like absolutely cut off.
Yeah.
This is that in our liberation. I want you to talk to us about it.
What I'm noticing is, so there's those two positions again. We've each been holding a certain position, and now we're in a process that's gonna move us to the opposite pole. What I am personally noticing, what my peers around me are experiencing, is this kind of lull. So at the beginning of either coming together or just your sexual life in general, there was an explosive, everything you've just mentioned, an explosive, creative, free for all, woohoo, we're on the spiral of liberation, and that is great, and that is great, and that is happening. Then there comes a waning down. Now, those without the balls and the guts, so those without the gravitas are going to go, I'm going to go and look for someone else, or I'm going to go and look for something else. But I believe what you have to do is just dig your heels in and go into the lull period, because what I've been burning off and what my peers have been burning off are all the conditional reasons I've been having sex. To communicate, to feel beautiful, to feel intimacy. So I've been burning off all of those false reasons for coming together as a man with a woman, or with a woman, everything you can think of. And that is priceless. I cannot help feeling that once all of that fakery has gone, there's gonna, the Bunsen burner, the flame is gonna go woof, and you're off again. And that is what's going to give us the ultimate big shift, that last thrust into position.
I love it.
Or maybe not even the thrust and the celebration, like, yay, we've made it to our new position. So I just want to say to the people watching and listening in, don't you be worried by the pause and the lull. This is a worldwide phenomena. It's got nothing to do with me and my peers being late 40s. This is happening to people who are 24, 33, 37. It's across the board, and it's men and women. Everyone's like scratching their head. What are we supposed to do now? The desire has waned, but that's because it's doing something on the inside. Very important.
So beautiful. I'm getting goosebumps everywhere, because just everything you describe, I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been experiencing. And it's so, I guess I'm trying to understand that feeling, because I definitely had in my relationship with the father of my children, this, like, it was just all like the exploration and liberation of that sexuality and creativity, and then even after our separation was like the culmination of the understanding of that work and the expression from within to the outside, and like kundalini all over the place and the power of that. And then, like you say, this last whatever, let's say 6 months, it's just been, or less, but it's just felt that energy of like, wow, like I just feel like this inner, like, gentle lovingness. Subtle, quiet. And at some point I was wondering, I was like, where, like, did it just, but I felt really good. So I don't question it. I just kind of go with how it feels. And the thought that it's been coming to me a lot is like, I want to, and I'm being called to help a lot of people that come to me, is that they feel very blocked.
Yes.
Sexuality. So it's like some individuals perhaps still have to experience that. I'm not sure. Like, you can tell me like that, like liberation for the ones that haven't yet in their life. Like there's some women still that haven't experienced orgasmicness, you know,
Yes.
like
Yes.
experience what an orgasm is, or maybe they've been conceived as to what there is, and they have, but they've been like trying to figure out from what they hear externally, as opposed to realize that there's something so much more subtle, like you say. It's like it could be, so it doesn't have to be this like wild crazy explosion. It could be very much that what we're being called to at this moment is subtle. For the ones that are like, it's still trying to search the next part and the next wild adventure, the next orgasmic experience and lovemaking.
Yes.
Be like, it's on the subtle being in your body, and even in the mind, you know, quieting down, so you can breathe in that. Like you can really feel the water going in your body as you drink it. Right?
Yeah.
So it's, what would you say? So how, I feel like you just said so much, like it's very clear. It's just this passing off, boom, and we're in this space where we just kind of have to be receptive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, burn away or breathe away all of the, I would say, the manipulative or the addictive or the expectant reasons why we get it together with another person, and definitely any sense of goal or pursuit of. So we have to be, I feel, really empty vessels for when that, you know, that thrust, that wave comes back to us. You know, inside, we're relatively androgynous. We can lay our hands on female energy. We can lay our hands on masculine energy. We've integrated our Lilith and Eve. So we've taken back the power from the patriarchy and said, hey, listen, these are my archetypes. I'm the one who decides how they're going to be. Merge them together, make a seamless being out of the two of them, so that we have just one being on the inside. You know, we've weaned away all of our parental conditionings that we may have around relationships and sexuality. So we're pretty sovereign, we're pretty free for the return of this energy.
So beautiful. So the darkness going into this empty vesselness stage. Really, it's really what it's all about right now. And you can just see it whenever I'm seeing it all around. Whoever is trying to go into relationships with the looking for some kind of satisfaction, it is just like, to me, I'm like, okay, taking bomb over there. And then it's beautiful, because right now we're in that space where those bombs are going so fast. We're not. And so, like that's the best thing for all of us to be at right now. It's like clearing and cleaning the vessel of all of this fakeness, like you're saying. And like really being like, who is this? And like being excited about the discovery of like this emptiness. Darkness, like this, because there is an emptiness in the darkness, right? Like you don't see anything. And be comfortable with that, and then like just on that, okay, we're ready for whatever next. I love it. I love everything. Just your wisdom is just so, it speaks the truth, and you know, you can just feel it when somebody is like just receiving from their experience the truth of our like collective movement. So thank you for being such an open vessel, Anaiya.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. So we are getting towards the end. I can't believe it's already been 40 minutes of conversation. That seems crazy to me. No timelessness in this conversation. I want you to tell us a bit, do you have a gift for our audience?
Yes. My gift is a free transmission. And oh my goodness, what's the title of it? I don't know. I can't remember the exact title. But basically, it's a transmission to experience this darkness, this black light.
Beautiful.
And how to realize that you are in this very reflective environment. So you can just sit there with your contemplation, and wherever you look, you will see a reflection that's answering your contemplation in some way. So it's like basically changing our relationship to how we imagine sitting in the darkness to be.
Mm-hmm. So
realizing this is restorative, this is the womb, this is healing, this is medicine.
Yeah, and
this is safe.
So the name is Sacred Creation Activation. Is that right?
Okay. Yes.
So we'll put that. You'll find that on the email here, and go take advantage and like really dive into this meditation or this guidance that Sophia is offering to all of us, Anaiya, Sophia, and so beautiful. As you were speaking, there is the remembrance of this darkness. I feel like even for us women, we've been integrating and thinking of it as like this chaotic, crazy, like, the more like wild, like fighty, like energy. And you're just really bringing that understanding right now that it's just not, it does not have to be like that. It could be this like quiet, really peaceful and actually really nice energy. So it's really understanding what that dark zone of creation.
It's really wonderful to do this, to sit in circle in the dark with women, because ladies are mostly presenting an appearance. And that is how we receive information when we look at a woman. Within nanoseconds, we will classify, is she beautiful, is she tall, is she young, is she old, has she got a good breast, a good ass, all of that stuff. In the darkness, we can't see anything. This is wonderful. This is wonderful, to be with the essence of a woman and not be distracted by her appearance. And she's not going to be distracted by yours. You can truly sit together as essence and just do away with all of that compare and contrast. Burn it away, breathe it away. It doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist here.
Oh, so beautiful.
Amazing. And you will come out of that chamber and you will gaze upon every single woman, from the most beautiful to the most plain, and just love them. So that appearance thing will not mean anything to you anymore. And you'll do it just for fun. You won't take it seriously.
Yeah. Just for fun. So going in this darkness, what would you recommend? How many, like, for a group of women to go and do this? I'm going to go do it right away with my community and tell you.
I would say, to be realistic, 7.
7 hours.
Yeah. Oh, 7. Sorry. I was thinking 7 ladies, 7 women, just like grab members from your community. Yeah, you could start off something that's like a baby step, but definitely you will have an experience. 3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
3 hours.
So grab a group of, your women, let's say, from whatever, I imagine, like 3 to 7 or however it feels that you can get.
You have to have an agreement. You have to have an agreement that you will endure 3 hours.
Right. So no.
Because there's nothing worse than going in and you're so totally prepared, but one of you isn't, or 2 of you, or half of you.
Yeah.
So you got to make like a little oath, no matter what happens, no matter what I think. I'm going to sit this one out for 3 hours with you. And that's beautiful, because that's a development of the masculine. Yeah. Sticking to your word, making an oath, sticking to your commitment.
Yeah.
So it's just gorgeous. It's just a win-win situation. We're getting to know each other in new and fresh ways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just that's bringing to my mind too, like the importance of that for what we talked in the previous summit, which was the birth, and how women, like, how do we support and we get really into this powerful space. I feel like practices like this are going to make women, when they're in that birth, you just can't escape it, and other women supporting it is such a good preparation for that, to just be on space, because you're in there. So thank you so much, Anaiya.
Thank you, Nicole.
Beautiful, beautiful everything you share. I feel very blessed, and I hope everybody has received this energy with an open heart and share with your men. I'm gonna talk to Sophia about bringing Pete on this journey as well. So look forward for that. And yeah, any words you want to leave our audience with before we say bye?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Just a gentle reminder for you to go look at that video.
Yes, please look at that video. Take advantage of this. I can tell this woman has magic on her. So go immerse yourself in that magic. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
See you.
Oh,